basketball players want to be football players, and football players want to be basketball players, and we all want to play baseball. Like,
Do you hear that, Nick Earnshaw? CJ Stroud, now officially
baseball guy.
The baseball guy. And, he's been really exciting this year as a rookie in the NFL. And now he's one of my favorite football players.
Oh, is he? Because he's big. Maybe he watches the shift. Maybe we've turned him into a big baseball guy. Did he play baseball?
Yeah. Did he play baseball at Ohio State?
That's a good question. I don't think he did. I don't think so. I'm going to look it up now. I'm going to live do it. We probably should have did this before the show, but I'll look it up.
All the football fans and basketball fans that don't like baseball are losing it. Yeah. And that's fine. Go ahead. I'll stay in your feelings. Okay. Stay in your feelings. Go watch the in-season tournament. Go watch a championship that doesn't matter. Okay. Go watch that. Baseball will never do that. Never. I hope not, actually. With Rob Manfred, you never know. But shout out to CJ Stroud. Noted baseball player.
Yeah.
He had AJ Brown a couple of years ago. AJ Brown every now and then says he wants to play baseball.
Baseball is fun. I mean, AJ Brown, he took batting practice with the Phillies and was putting it out of the park, man.
Oh yeah, AJ Brown, he could be a center fielder if he wanted to. I could see him playing center field. You know what I'm saying? Like him and Johan Rojas in 5 years competing for best center fielder in baseball. Yeah.
I can't find it. I don't know if he played baseball.
I don't think he did. I think we would know this, just like Kyler Murray. Obviously Kyler Murray was really good.
Murray, yeah.
Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson, another guy.
He sucks at football now, so maybe you should just play baseball. Maybe you should just play baseball instead.
You switch over now.
Oh, yeah, you bring Sean Payton with him. He could manage the Padres.
It's low.
We don't want that. I don't want
your
Sean
favorite
Payton
team. That's one of your favorite teams. And your 18 favorite teams that you have.
Oh, right. Thank you. As I'm wearing my Albert Pujols Roto Wear shirt today.
God.
Hey, Albert was my favorite player growing up. Still love Albert. Still love Albert, okay?
Diamondbacks 1 week, Cardinals the next. It's just...
I'm a baseball fan, and so are you. You got your Adley shirt. What are you doing, bro?
I do have my Adley shirt.
Look, I congratulate you for always wearing Philly stuff, but I do what's best for the show. This is a baseball show, okay? I know you want to sit here and talk about Bryce Harper and Rhys Hoskins for an hour, but look at that. Is that the fake moose? The fake moose?
The real moose. The OG moose.
All right. So Mike Mussina. That didn't look like Mike Mussina. Sorry. That didn't look like him.
I mean, you basically watched him. You're old enough to basically watch the original moose.
Oh, right. Crazy. Thanks. Yeah. More like 2 years older than you, but all right.
Low blow.
Right.
Low blow.
Anyway. So couldn't help it. I know. You can't help a lot of things. So anyway, so today, you wanted to wear a tie on today's show. You wanted to be a male stripper on the show.
No. I was going to become in my business attire.
Yeah.
Because the winter meetings, it's off season, it's general manager, president of baseball ops time.
All these excuses.
I don't think it's an
excuse. You just wanted an excuse to look like a male stripper. So
maybe
anyway,
I did.
It's fine. It's fine. If that's what you want to do, you can go get the tie. Okay, I'm gonna do the intro here.
Dude,
while you
already threw it.
Yo, you threw it.
I need Tommy John
weak-ass arm. With that weak-ass arm.
Need Tommy John after that throw.
Yeah. What a great joke. What a funny joke. So today we are going to get into some crazy new managerial hires. Nick, there's been a lot lately. It's been too many. Free agency. It's heating up, baby.
I got them written down.
I know you do. You always come prepared. Free agency. A lot of big names to get to here. Obviously, we're going to start with Shohei Ohtani in just a little bit.
Cool.
And then we'll close with some of the award finalists that were announced the other day. A lot of familiar stuff, but we can just go through it and just kind of maybe see if there's any gripes at all.
I have a few.
Okay. Oh, that's right.
It's really just one. One.
I do too. I have one. I'm interested to hear your answer. So we'll get to that in a little bit to close out the show. But Nick, let's talk about. So it looks like there's been about 5-6 managerial hires in the last week or so. You had Ron Washington, the latest. Padres, it sounds like, are closing in on somebody they didn't name as far as I've seen on Twitter. Cubs with the Craig Counsell being the biggest one. That whole, the Cubs getting rid of David Ross and bringing in Craig Counsell, kind of an unexpected thing there. Seemed like Craig Counsell was going to the Mets, but the Mets end up getting Carlos Mendoza, who no one really knows, was a Yankees bench coach for a while. Guardians, Stephen Vogt. Stephen Vogt was a great Major League Baseball player for a while. And Bob Melvin pretty much just going upstate, I guess, to the Giants.
Up,
right?
Yeah.
Slam Diego goes up. Yeah, to San Fran. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So, Nick, let's start. Who out of these 5 that we mentioned, who was your most intriguing hire?
I think it's pretty easy, right? I mean, I'll take the easy one. Counsell. Counsell leaving to go to the division rival. I mean, it's mind blowing, right? Like, this came out of nowhere. I'm sitting at my desk at work, and this notification comes through my phone. I'm like, I got so confused. I'm like, what is going on? These managers. I mean, Bob Melvin starting the trend. He's just bouncing from team to team. It's wild. I mean, that was intriguing too, but the Counsell thing's just wild to me, man. Like, this is a guy who spent a long time in the Brewers organization, right? I mean, 17 plus years, executive, player, manager, and he jets to the division rival Cubs, who kind of have an up and coming team, right? Like, had a decent year. They had some stretches last year. We looked pretty good. The Brewers just made the playoffs. I know they got bounced, but wow. I mean, he spent such a long time. And I don't know if you saw the reasoning he gave for leaving. A quote, according to ESPN.com, a new professional challenge. That's what Craig Counsell was looking for. I guess he got tired of Milwaukee. He spent a long time there. We know. Yeah, I mean, that was a head scratcher. I was shocked to hear that. And then David Ross just gets the boot. I mean, wow. He just gets the boot. Like, he's gone. Hey, I think he'll land on his feet somewhere, whether it's in TV or another spot. There's 3 spots out there. You mentioned one, the Padres earlier. They got the Cubs now. Well, not the Cubs anymore. We got the Astros out there. Another. I don't know. It was wild to see him go to the Cubs. I did not expect that. It's kind of threw me for a loop, especially with how committed Counsell was there for a long time. That's the easiest one, man. I mean, wow. What did you think when that dropped? I mean, that had to be intriguing to you.
Yeah, I mean, we're 100% in agreement on the most intriguing hire. I mean, that's what it is for everybody. I mean, Ron Washington's interesting. We'll get into that in a little bit. But Counsell to the Cubs, I mean, like you said, I mean, no one expected this. It seemed like, I mean, the big thing was, it seemed like he was going to the Mets. That's
he was a favorite there.
Yeah, favorite there. It I guess to a certain extent it made sense. He's had success with the Brewers, and maybe it would make sense for that clubhouse. Maybe they change the scenery there. But yeah, it's just it just kind of threw me for a loop. I'm like, man, this guy's going from these guys were just in an NL Central race like a month and a half ago.
Yeah,
and too, like I think David Ross got the short end of the stick. Like, they made progress this year. And now there's reports, coming out hours ago that they're regressive, probably the most aggressive to go after Shohei Ohtani. So it kind of baffles me. I thought David Ross did, a solid job. The guys, was a part of the 2016 World Champs there. It made sense. I like his personality, which I do think matters when it comes to managerial hires and how it sets, the scene for the clubhouse. So yeah, it was just very intriguing. It's great. It's great drama. I love it. It's great to set off the off season. But I just think David Ross got the short end of the stick. Curious what his next move would be. If the good thing for him is that if no one hires him, I mean, he can just go right back to the broadcast booth. That's where he's comfortable. He's done that before. So easily most intriguing hire here, Craig Counsell to the Chicago Cubs.
5 years, $40 million. You know what's crazy to me?
It's insane. Yeah, that's too.
So he like doubled his salary basically. It's crazy. The Cubs always, like in recent years, like they make splashes with their managerial decisions, don't they? Like remember Joe Madden?
Yeah.
Joe Madden,
Yep.
they hired him from away from the Angels. Like, yeah, it's just why like they make some splashes. They make some interesting moves. Bringing in managers, it's kind of like now kind of their thing. Who's next? When Craig's time's up, who's going to be the next guy? They go after big name. They go out.
Maybe it'll be like Cody Bellinger.
Yeah, Cody Bellinger, manager Cody Bellinger down the line.
I cannot see that.
Anthony Rizzo.
Yeah, apparently Cody Bellinger nominated for one of the sexiest people alive for baseball.
I did see Mookie Betts too, I think, on there.
Yeah, that's weird. Cody
And
Bellinger looks like E.T.
Ohtani made it too.
Cody Bellinger looks like E.T. That's a weird one. Ohtani and Mookie, I could see they're handsome guys, but Bellinger, nah.
Shout out them.
Shout out to Ohtani and
Come on,
I could see like Bryce Harper in there. There's other guys you could have gone with.
Yeah.
Why did we open with this?
Brandon
Why did we open with this? God damn it!
we blew the open. Damn.
Yeah, we blew it. We blew it. All right. Next one. Which hire makes the most sense? I'm gonna go first here. I actually think, and the Angels are in a weird spot. Like I just said there about the Ross thing, like like Council's not a bad hire, like it's a good hire, but like I didn't think they needed to get rid of David Ross. So hire that makes the most sense for me. Angels, Ron Washington. The guy has won pennants in Texas before. Yep. He has a great rapport around Major League Baseball as a third base coach with the Braves. A lot of people like him. Has a great, fun personality. It makes the most sense for me as far as the Angels go with Ron Washington. That I just think it makes the most sense just because of his personality. Like what I mentioned, he's been a manager in baseball before, won pennants with Texas, has had success. So for me, out of all of these, I think the Angels Ron Washington makes the most sense. What about you?
Yeah. I think that makes sense too. I mean, Ron's one of the most respected guys in baseball. He's been around for a long time, been around the block for a minute. Definitely with you there, and we're agreeing too much today. But I'm honestly, the Mendoza thing makes sense if you look at the situation. I think it does, right? He's been in the New York market for a long time, bench coach. He's been in the Yankees organization, so he understands the market. I think that's very important if you are the New York Mets manager or just managing in New York in general. Any sport, to be honest, dealing with the media, etc. He's interviewed in the past. Like, it's not like a guy who hasn't interviewed for jobs in the past. Boston, Detroit, Chicago, all according to ESPN. He's interviewing some of these big market teams, right? So I think he was kind of due for a managerial job. If you look at what their options were, they were going after They wanted counsel. They had to pivot, right? Makes sense. Guy's been around for a long time, been in the New York market. I think that just makes sense if you're the Mets. Like, where else were you gonna really go, right? I think it's not the sexiest hire. Mets fans, I don't know how much they love it, but I think it was probably the right choice at this time, at this period of time, because they lost their number one guy. This guy, he's been around the block a little bit, gone for interviews in big markets before. I think it made sense. It wasn't like this awful hire, and you can't judge a book by its cover. He hasn't, you just give him a chance. The Mets fan, I've seen Mets fans on social media just freaking out about stuff about this hire because it wasn't Craig Counsell. They weren't able to get him. So I think this made sense. I think it was a good move. It wasn't the sexy pick for the New York Mets, and what Steve Cohen's been doing with all the big names he signed last year, the biggest payroll. This is a good baseball move, I think, for a guy who's managed in the minor leagues before, been a bench coach for a while, and been in the New York market. It makes sense as a hire to me. So I have to go with Mendoza as being a sensible hire by the New York Mets.
Yeah, so I guess it's more like the people fear what they don't know, and there's not much to know about Carlos Mendoza, and I think people are taking the easy way out. It's like, oh, he was a Yankees bench coach. I was like, well, so what? What is that?
Yeah.
What does that mean? I don't know what that means. It's not like the Yankees have won like 60 games a year. Like they're, I mean, they're
Yeah.
still like, I know they were not good last year, but like before that, they've had
I
success.
think yeah. And I think he interviewed for the San Diego job too. Like he was a name, he was a commodity around the league. So yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. So which hire will have the least impact? I'm gonna go again because I told you I had something here. So while the hire makes sense for the Angels, I also think it's gonna have the least impact with Ron Washington because they still have no. Shohei Ohtani is gonna leave, so while Washington's like a good hire, they still don't have a great roster, and they don't, especially now that you don't have Ohtani, and the Phillies will probably trade for Mike Trout. So I mean, there goes Mike Trout, which is not happening, by the way. I'm just putting that out there. I think it also has the least amount of impact. I know that kind of sounds weird. It's like, oh, what does it mean? It makes the most sense, but it won't have least impact. I think it's a good hire as far as the guy they're getting in Ron Washington. And, like all the reasons I laid out. But at the same time, you have a lot to do with that roster. There aren't bad. There's some, there aren't bad players on that roster. But that isn't a great roster, and especially with like the Mariners, the Texas Rangers just won the World Series. The Astros, in my opinion, are still contenders. Like, you got work to do with that roster, man. And we'll see this offseason what they do. So I'm also going to go least impact with Ron Washington.
I agree. That was my pick for this question. Which will have the least impact? Why are we in lockstep to start this show? It's ridiculous. No, I mean, they stink. The Angels have they're done. Like Ohtani's gone. It's just not. They don't have a good roster. I'm with you. Like, what can he possibly do next year? What can the Angels possibly do? Mike Trout's probably going to be on the way out too. I'm with you there. They haven't had pitching in how long, right? They made all these moves at the deadline to go for it, and they choked. Like they have some young players, but they're a ways away. And like right now, not going to be significant. It's not going to be a significant hire right now. Like Ron Washington's not going to go in there and they're going to turn things around with the Mariners, with the Astros, with the Rangers World Series. Like the last 2 World Series champions are from their own division. Like so they got to get past all these teams. I just don't see it being impactful right away. It's not going to be. I think it's a good hire. It's a good hire. Getting Ron Washington, great baseball mind, awesome. Great for the young talent over there. They're not gonna be competing right now. So I don't know. It's not gonna have as much of an impact. I think the Angels are gonna be the Angels like they have been, and now they're gonna have less talent because they've had 2 of the top players in baseball and probably gonna be on their way out. So I'm with you there. I'm with you. I think it's a good hire, but it's not gonna be impactful right now. Not at least not this next season. No way.
Yeah, I think look at us agreeing to open the show.
I'm getting tired of it already.
And now it's time. Look, I ain't gonna lie to you. I had a couple slices of pizza that my siblings had left over. I didn't have too much. They're small slices, so I'm still hungry. Meat and potatoes time, baby.
Meat and potatoes.
Meat and potatoes time.
Meat and potatoes.
Let's go.
Grubbing.
All right, so let's get to the free agency portion here. So obviously we have to try out with Shohei Ohtani. He's his own entity. We'll get to some top position players and pitchers and where they stand and where we think they're going to end up. But let's start with Mr. Baseball icon himself, Shohei Ohtani. Seems like the latest updates and rumors, Nick, are that it seems like the Cubs and Dodgers are the front runners. Well, I don't know if the Cubs are technically a front runner, but the Cubs are aggressively pursuing him. Will be the most aggressive, which probably will put them as a front runner. So interesting, very interesting. You gave Craig Counsell all this money. You're going to give Shohei Ohtani all this money too? I don't know. But Nick, what are your thoughts on Ohtani going into this free agency? This is big. And where do you think? I want you to make a prediction. For the end, for spring training. Where by spring training, and we're marking this down. I'll put this out on social media. I will, So, where does Shohei Ohtani end up by spring training?
All right. Let me start by saying this is the question mark of question marks heading into the offseason. Like, this is gigantic. It feels like nobody really knows, right? Like, nobody really knows where he's at right now. I think it's a foregone conclusion he leaves the Angels. It just does not. He's not going to win there. They have no shot. Their future's kind of in limbo. Like, who knows what they're going to be able to do in the next coming years, especially in that division. Like, why stay with the Angels? I think they're definitely out. No shot he goes back there. No shot. I know it was the team he came over to, and he's been there for a while, but he's not going back. I'm telling you right now, not the Angels. So they're out. There's a bunch of teams that, I mean, the Yankees are always going to be involved. You can't knock off Steve Cohen. I think there's really 3 teams to narrow down to. And I don't think it's going to be the Cubs. I think it's going to be the Dodgers. I think it's going to be the Mariners. And I think it's going to be the Giants. I think those are the one. He's going to one of those 3 teams. And if I had to say right now, I think he goes to the Dodgers. I think it's very, very permissible that he goes there, right? Like, he's going to go just across town, right? Go from Anaheim to actual Los Angeles. He doesn't have to move far. He's on the West Coast. The glitz and glamour, it's everything he needs. They're a contender every single year. They have the money to do it. It just makes too much sense to me. I'm going Dodgers now. That's where I'm feeling right this second. Maybe it changes in a couple weeks, but I'm going to stick with it. By spring training, it's going to be a Dodger. Shohei Ohtani will be a Dodger, but you cannot count out the Giants. The Giants always find a way to slither their way in to these big name free agents. Whether they sign them, they lose them, they almost have them. Arson Judge, I don't know what I don't know what it'll be this year. Whether the tweet comes out, I don't know. I think it'll be the Dodgers though in the end. I can't see him leaving the West Coast. I feel like he likes it out there. A winning team, not too far from where he's at right this second. He's familiar. It makes too much sense, man. I think, and the Dodgers, it'd be nice to have a little bit of pitching heading into the postseason next year, where they can't fall apart. I think Ohtani, it makes a lot of sense for me, and I think he wants to stay on the West Coast. So, Dodgers are going to sign.
Dodgers. Yeah,
Dodgers.
I totally agree.
Wow, what? Again?
No, it's too much agreeing. It's your fault.
I can't do it. I can't do this anymore. I can't.
Let me. All right.
Go ahead.
I mean, you made some great points. The only thing I'll say is that I'll put the Cubs in there because, again, what I said about them aggressively pursuing him, being aggressive suitors. So I'll put the Cubs in the top 3. I'll take the Mariners out. I also think that Ohtani doesn't want to kind of be like in Ichiro's shadow because Ichiro was the first guy there in Japan. I think Ohtani wants to be his own thing. So I will put Dodgers 1. Friedman, Andrew Friedman, right? That's their GM.
Yeah.
He was quoted to say he's obsessed with Shohei Ohtani. So, Dodgers gave a lot of money to Mookie Betts. They are a big market team. It just makes too much sense. So I'm going to go, I think he ends up a Dodger. That's 1. I think 2, I'll put the Giants up there because they overpay for guys. And that's going to be a theme throughout the show. They overpay for guys. Almost gave Carlos Correa however much money, and it didn't happen.
Arson Judge.
So I agree with the Giants. And it's the West Coast. Stays out there on the West Coast. I'm going to put the Cubs 3 because, Kodai Senga, and then also, not Kodai Senga, Seiya Suzuki. I apologize. And so, I'll put the Cubs 3. But, Dodgers, man. It's the Dodgers.
Rich get richer.
It makes too much sense. So he's not going back to LA. He's going to be a Dodger. So
I'm with you, dude. I can't see him leaving the West Coast. And like they're a contender. And they're right there. He doesn't have to really move too far. Stays in California. Like, I really get richer. I think it makes too much sense. I think they're going to pursue him extremely hard. Based on all indications, and we've heard this throughout the entirety of the season too. So Yeah, Dodger. Maybe we'll get shocked. Maybe we'll get shocked and he goes somewhere else. But it just, yeah, with his stardom and him enjoying the West Coast and the Dodgers being a winner. I think it makes too much sense over there.
They need him for to rule out the Mickey Mouse World Series so they can get a real one.
Yeah, they can get a real one with Shohei. I'll count that one.
Okay.
I'll count that one.
You're a fraud. You're a fraud.
I'm not a fraud. It's a fraud title. It's just like it's the NBA, the bubble. That was a fraudulent title. The Lakers don't.
I don't believe that. That's stupid. That's dumb. That's a dumb take. That's a dumb take.
It's not a dumb take. They both.
Everyone had to compete for that, man. Everyone had to compete.
Same with the NHL. It was all fraudulent to me.
That's not true. I will not take that away from Tampa Bay either. I will take that away.
They won. Didn't they win 2 years in a row? The Lightning.
Tampa Bay.
Yeah,
Tampa Bay was nasty. They got nasty.
They got 1.5. They got 1.5 titles then.
Oh my God. God bless you. God bless you and your.
The Dodgers have -1.
Picks.
-1 in the past 5 years.
I'm sure that makes so much sense. All right. Off Shohei, we both think he's going to be a Dodger.
Yes.
That's where we think he's going.
Yes.
All right. Let's talk about. It looks like the top 3 pitchers in free agent market right now.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start with. I'm not going to tell you which names yet. I'll just go one by one, and you're gonna. And if out there, if you think that we didn't mention, we're mentioning the top ones. Okay,
yeah.
A decent amount of big names. Okay, so number 1, let's go with the guy that probably going to win the Cy Young in the National League. Blake Snell. Where does he end up, Nick?
This is tough. I mean, there's been the Dodgers could be in the mix for him too, but I think they're getting Shohei, so I think that he'll go somewhere else.
So it's a good starting pitching market. There's teams looking for starting pitching. So
I think I know he's been mentioned in the Phillies. I think the Cardinals have been mentioned too. I don't know why. I feel like the Padres might be able to bring him back. I know they've had the financial issues and all, but I think he goes back to San Diego. I have this weird feeling things happen, the way the market shakes out, he ends up back in San Diego, and they're keeping a Cy Young type pitcher. Yeah, I don't know. I think he ends up back in San Diego. That's just my gut feeling on that. There's other teams going to be interested, but I think San Diego is going to be able to bring him back. And I think it would make sense if they brought him back. I know the financial issues are there. I'm sure they're going to make other moves, but I think Blake Snell goes back to the Padres. Yeah, I'm going back. He's staying with San Diego.
Yeah, I totally I see where you're coming from. I thought about that too, for sure, and I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. But it comes down to a couple of pitchers with a couple of these teams too. I could see it kind of going a couple of ways, but I'm going to go Giants. Giants, I think Snell and Aaron Nola, I think these are guys that are going to probably get overpaid a little bit wherever they go to. And again, the Giants are known for overpaying for guys. The Giants are looking for starting pitching. You can't just have Logan Webb. Logan Webb's incredible. He's going to get Cy Young votes.
Yep.
I think he's in the finalists. So Logan Webb's incredible, but you need another starting pitcher over there. I'm going to say Giants overpay. Okay. They're looking for a big splash. Blake Snell's about to win the Cy Young. I think it makes sense. Okay. We mentioned Ohtani, maybe that happens, which is why this is fun, because this could go a million different ways. But I'm gonna go Snell with the Giants. Stays in California, goes the Giants. So, all right. Let's how about I'm gonna get it right. Yoshinobu. No, I definitely screwed that up. Yoshinobu. It's Yoshinobu, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
Yoshinobu.
I'm pretty sure. I think you got it. You're close.
Like Mace Windu. Nah, that's not even. You have no idea what I'm talking about.
No, you're going.
You don't like Star Wars?
I'm not a big Star Wars guy.
I can tell. Yeah, you don't like Star Wars. You wanted to wear a tie on the show. So. All right, I'm gonna go first here. I'm gonna say It makes sense. I'm gonna, at least for me, obviously it makes sense because I'm saying it. But I think he goes to the Mets. Kodai Senga last year, he was the international signing. The Mets are looking for some starting pitching. You got rid of Scherzer and Verlander from last year. They're looking for starting pitching. I think Yamamoto makes sense. Kellen's always looking to make big splashes and pay guys big time money. And Yamamoto I think he won the Japan or the Korea. I'm sorry.
He won in Japan.
Okay, so the Japan version of the Cy Young.
The Sawamura Award.
Yes.
It's called.
Yeah. So I think it makes sense. Kodai Senga, it would make sense for them. I think Kodai Senga has a great year, arguably not rookie of the year. Corbin Carroll's going to win it, but Kodai Senga, I think it makes sense. It makes sense for the Mets to go out and get Yamamoto. Kid's 25. Okay. I just think it makes sense. You have Senga and Yamamoto there at the top of the rotation. Makes sense. What say you, Nick Earnshaw?
I think that's a solid pick. It's very, very. I think it makes a lot of sense, right? But I think he goes to the Red Sox. I think he goes to the Red Sox. I think it makes sense. They need some pitching. They signed Masataka Yoshida last year from Japan. I think they're going to be in play here once again. I can see where you're coming from with the Mets. I see it. Boston needs pitching. I think it would make total sense if they go out and sign him as well. I mean, listen, he was really good. He could slide right in there. He'll be a 1 or a 2 as soon as he gets to the bigs, man. He's going to make a splash. I think Boston is ready to make a splash. Like they're ready to spend this offseason. They got a tough division. They got the Yankees, they got the Orioles in there. The Yankees are going to – I don't think the Yankees are going to be as bad as they were this year. I think they'll probably have a little bit of a bounce back. The Rays, the Blue Jays. I mean, this is a very, very deep division. So I think the Red Sox need to make a splash. They need to go out and get a starter. I think he's the guy. I think they go out and sign him and get an ace-like type pitcher. Makes total sense to me, especially competing with all these high-powered offenses in the AL East. Makes too much sense.
Yep, good pick. Can totally say it. Okay, let's talk about him. Aaron Nola. Where do you think Aaron Nola goes? Has had, in my opinion, an up and down Phillies tenure. I'd say more ups than downs, but nonetheless, he's been inconsistent. Aaron Nola, though, will get paid. His ups were enough for him to get paid, and I think to a certain extent, deservedly so. Where do you think Aaron Nola goes, Matt? He's an interesting one, just like Snell. Where does he go?
I love Aaron Nola. Love Aaron Nola. You know I love Aaron Nola. Big Aaron Nola guy. I don't see him ending up back with the Phillies, man. I think he's going to ask for too much, and someone else is going to give it to him. I don't think he'll be a Philly next year. I really don't. And I hope can I just preface with this? I hope he comes back. I want Aaron Nola back. If I'm the Phillies. I don't think it happens, though. I just don't think it happens. I think he ends up in St. Louis. I think that's the place. We've heard a little bit. I think St. Louis will overpay a little bit, give more than the Phillies are willing to give Aaron Nola. And I think the Phillies will pivot somewhere else. I really do, to maybe like a Sonny Gray, or we've heard those rumors. I just have a feeling he's gone, man. I just really do. I think he's going to end up in St. Louis. I think they're going to give him pretty much what he wants. They're looking for starting pitching. They had a really down year this year after the Phillies beat them in the wild card series. I don't think they want to see Aaron Nola do that to them again in a playoff series or in the regular season. And I think they're looking for a starting pitcher, and I think Aaron Nola is the guy that'll go there. I think he'll be the guy out of these top pitchers that St. Louis lands, and he's no longer going to be a Philly. He'll be in red still, just a little farther inward into the United States. He's going to be a St. Louis Cardinal. I hate to say it, but I think it's what's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you. I also think like this is like Snell. I think there's I said Giants with Snell. I think there's potential to Nola go to the Giants too. Like the definitely potential there as well. Definitely, again, like the Giants are known for taking chances on guys. I think it would make sense. But I'm gonna go with St. Louis too. And I know maybe it's kind of like a layup to talk about like geographical. Well, I mean, but it makes sense though. Guys like to be close to home. I mean, think about you. Think about yourself. Like you would like to be close to home,
Right.
unless but like Nola, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. That's somewhat close to. I mean, that's more the South. I know.
That's South.
Yeah.
That's
damn. I just screwed that up.
Yeah, you learn your math.
Well,
do I need to get a globe for you? I think for Christmas I'm gonna get you a globe.
Hold on. Is St. Louis closer to
Missouri's kind of like Midwest.
Then San Fran.
Oh well, then San Fran. Yeah.
That was my thinking.
I'm gonna look up the. I'm gonna see what the drive is.
I'm right.
It's not
so I was right. So geographically, yes.
Yeah, it's closer than San Francisco on the West Coast.
I know. That's why I know. So why do you have to look that up? What are you doing?
Because it's not.
Hey, go where your time, bro. Go where your time.
Baton,
go where your time.
It's not that close.
Anyway,
it's a 9-hour drive.
No matter what, I think Nola ends up with the Cardinals.
Yes,
they're looking for pitching.
Yes, not geographically.
Jack Flaherty left. Like they need pitching. So I'm going Nola Cardinals. So that's it for the top pitchers.
Yes.
Let's talk about top 3 position players and where they end up. Number 1, and we already mentioned this guy, future Cubs manager, Cody Bellinger. I think Cody Bellinger, and I told you the San Francisco Giants would be a theme throughout this show. They like to overpay for guys and give guys chances. Michael Conforto, he got like a 2-year, $36 million contract a couple years ago. You feel me? So this is what the Giants do with guys. So I'm going to go Belly goes to San Fran on a multi-year deal. I think his market value set at like 5 years, 120 or something like that. I'm going Belly to the Giants. Would you like to interject?
No, I agree. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I got Bellinger to the Giants. I think it just when they strike out on Ohtani, they're going to pivot. They're going to go get a guy like Bellinger. They're overpay him. He's the perfect guy that I could see it just makes I could just see it. Oh, Bellinger signs.
Dodgers fans would love it.
And he's going to get overpaid. They're going to give him so much money that it's going to be too much for Cody Bellinger. I just see it now. The headline, Bellinger, the Giants, ridiculous amount because they don't get Ohtani. I think it happens after the Ohtani signing. That's when he goes to the Giants because I think the Giants are going to be heavy on Ohtani. Then they're going to have to pivot, and that's when the domino falls for Bellinger and some of these other players. Boom, Bellinger, Giant. I'm in agreement.
Yeah. It just makes a lot of sense because they like to overpay for guys. Almost got Correa last year, however much money it was.
Correa almost played for 4 different teams last offseason.
Yeah, I know. Mets, Giants, and then back to the Twins. This is where I always wanted to be. I can't even do the accent. This is where I always wanted to be. Okay. I'm Hispanic. I can do that. Okay. I'm Hispanic. I'm allowed to do that.
I know you are. It's a good try.
Anyway, let's get to Matt Chapman. I think this is an interesting one. Interesting one. After the Blue Jays underachieved this year, in my opinion, losing in the wild card round to the Twins. Matt Chapman, bit of I don't want to say down year. He still was good defensively as he always is, but 17 home runs this year, a bit of a drop off. All on base percentage was his highest I think since whenever. I think he had a 330 on base percentage this year.
2019.
Right. So since 2019. So interesting one, Nick. Where do you think Matt Chapman ends up, man?
It feels like a Yankee to me, man. He just feels like a Yankee. They're gonna need a third baseman. They gotta get somebody, right? The Yankees have to be in play for somebody. Matt Chapman feels like a New York Yankee next year. He had won an All-Star, right? He was considered to be a rising star. His offensive production's kind of gone down a little bit. But listen, he's getting on base. He finished, I believe, 4th in doubles last year. And there's not a lot of third basemen out there, and the Yankees need one, right? They need a third baseman. I think the Yankees are going to sign Matt Chapman. I think he'll have a bounce back year with them. I think he's going to get a lot of money. He'll get overpaid, of course. But Matt Chapman's still a really solid third baseman, solid player at 31 years of age. Matt Chapman will be a New York Yankee.
So I think you kind of swayed me a little bit, actually. I originally had Toronto. Yeah, I still think there's a scenario where that happens, especially when
possible.
The reports are that like he's a big priority for the Blue Jays this offseason. So maybe he does end up back with Toronto, but I can also see New York. You know, they
makes sense.
I know it was a bit of a different kind of dynamic with bringing in Donaldson, but because of former A and Blue Jay, and same thing with Matt Chapman. So yeah. They need a third baseman. I think DJ LeMahieu is playing third base. I think DJ LeMahieu would probably be a DH, I guess. I don't know. But regardless, or I don't know if that's no, Stanton will play the outfield. If he ever stays healthy. So you kind of swayed me a little bit. I'm kind of torn between Blue Jays and Yankees. You know what? Man, it's a tough one now. Because see, this is your fault. This is your fault for swaying me.
Back and forth.
Do I think he's going to be a Yankee or a Blue Jay? My gosh.
Stays in the How about this? You could just cover your ass by saying he stays in the AL East.
No, that's not fun. Because it's weird because like I think Toronto's going to they're trying to head in a not different direction, but like I don't know. This season was a weird ending for them, but New York, I don't know. I guess Cashman's still there, so like. But are they hearing it from the fans? I know Cashman's been at it for 20 plus years. I'll say Yankees. I'll go with you. I think it's a tough one though. I'll go Yankees.
All right,
JD Martinez, the last one here. I say, it's a weird one too because if I think Ohtani ends up with the Dodgers, then what the hell is JD Martinez gonna do? But it's weird because JD Martinez, I think he stays with the Dodgers if they don't get Ohtani, because I think they signed him like a 1-year deal again. He's getting older. I think it would make sense. I read maybe the Angels would be a potential suitor because if Ohtani leaves.
Yeah.
And maybe it would make sense just because the Angels are known for doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'll go Angels. Angels because I think Ohtani's leaving. So I'll go Angels. What about you?
What if I said he goes to New York Mets? What if the Mets jump in there and take JD Martinez?
So is it they trade Alonso?
Yeah, I think it's possible.
Do you think Alonso's leaving though?
It feels like he is. It just feels like it, right?
Why?
I think they're gonna do so many different. I don't know. I feel like
is it because he threw the ball into the stands?
You know who we need to get on. You know who we need to get on.
Oh, he's kind of. Oh, we'll talk about it afterwards. I hit him up.
Good.
We just got out of date.
I'm not gonna say the name. I can't wait to get his perspective. I can't wait to
Matt Musico.
We got to get him on the show again.
Yes, we will.
I want to hear
all-time Mets team. Most importantly,
I need to get a Mets fan's perspective on the Alonso thing. But I don't know. I think he might leave, and that leaves a little splash open for the Mets. Steve Cohen likes to spend a little bread. JD Martinez, they don't get Ohtani. JD Martinez, pretty good player.
Yeah, what's up with this? Like, what are you doing right now?
Some big name. I know he's a little older. You get him a little cheaper, bro. I'm just saying.
The way you're like, I don't know. You do who are you imitating? What are you
I don't know. I might be trying to be a New York guy. I don't know, but I'm gonna enter New York. I don't know. I think it can make sense bringing in. They love bringing in old players. They brought 2 in last year and traded them both. So I mean, why not bring in another old guy like JD? 36, he's still productive though. Still very productive. It could be intriguing.
Oh,
intriguing sign. New York Mets.
All right. We'll see. But I think
let's see what Matt Musico thinks of that one.
Yes, we'll get Matt to break the split here because I think that Alonso's staying, but we'll see. All right, so one miscellaneous here because there's a lot of names we didn't get to. Maybe we could touch on them next show too because there was some other names like Clayton Kershaw, Sonny Gray. There's some other names to get to, but I wanted to hit on the most important ones for this show. But give me, I'll go first, Nick. We'll do one miscellaneous that we didn't mention.
Okay.
And I think we have to mention him because he is a big name pitcher, but he wasn't a big name starting pitcher. He's not a starting pitcher. He's been one of the best closers in baseball past like 5 years, probably. Josh Hader. Josh Hader is an interesting name, and his market value, according to Spot Track, would be 5 years, like 120. Like, that's a lot of money for a reliever, and that was set by Edwin Diaz when he got, I think, 5 years, 102 last year or the year before getting hurt. And for me, man, Josh Hader, to me, what makes the most sense is a team, even though they just won the World Series, they have a bad bullpen and they're known for spending a lot of money, and it just worked for them.
Out of this,
I think he goes to the Texas Rangers. I think it kind of makes sense.
Does
makes sense.
I like that.
So I like Josh Hader to the Rangers.
I like that. It's a good pick. I have to go. This guy's intriguing. He didn't get a qualifying offer from his club. He was only going to make $9 million. He opted out of his contract. Jorge Soler. I am very
good year.
Very good year. 36 homers. Oh, I think he's good at this. He could go to a lot of different places. He could go back to Miami, depending on what they want to give him. He could go back. I don't think that's out of the question. Who needs a bat? Cubs? Could he go back to the Cubs?
Yeah, that's where he started his career, right?
Yeah.
Was he on their World Series team?
I believe he was, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he was. I think he was, wasn't he?
I'm looking right now. Yeah, he was.
Wow.
Yeah, that was before Soler had that wild season with Kansas City where he led league in home runs. But anyway, go on. So who do you like him to go back with? Or who do you like him to go to?
I think he goes to the Cubs. I think he might go back to the Cubs. Another bat. You have Craig Counsell there. You add a little power into that lineup again. I could see it. He could go back to Miami. But I think there's going to be he could go to a lot of different places. You know what I mean? He's going to be, I think, a name to watch. He could go to a team that strikes out on Ohtani. Mets, Cubs, Marlins, Orioles, maybe. Maybe he wants to go to the Orioles. Orioles could add another bat, but I think they need more pitching. I don't know. I think he goes back to the Cubs. I'm going to say the Cubs. I think he leaves Miami to go to Chicago. Chicago makes a little bit of a splash. Yeah. If Bellinger leaves, like we mentioned, goes to the Giants, you pivot, you go to Soler. I don't know. It could make sense the way we have things shaken out. I think you go to the Cubs.
I like the pick. I like it.
Yeah.
That's a good job by you. Soler's a good one.
Thanks.
Great job.
Thanks, man.
By the way, I'm going to do one runner-up. Rhys Hoskins to the Brewers. That's all I'm going to say. That's not a bad pick. Real quick, because it was just announced today that Bryce Harper permanently playing first base, which I think is a great move for the Phillies. I think it's a great move for Bryce Harper's career, which probably means that Rhys Hoskins is leaving. So what's your thoughts on that? Do you think Rhys goes to where do you think he's going? Because he's not staying.
This is tough. I don't know. I think he gets a 1-year deal somewhere. Prove it deal.
Yeah.
First base. DH. He could DH too. This is tough. Milwaukee makes sense. I'm trying to think of some other teams he could go to.
Milwaukee's still trying to compete. You know what I'm saying? It would just make a lot of sense.
Boston? Could you go to Boston?
Maybe.
Cubs? Could they be in play? I mean, he's cheap. I don't think he's going to be that expensive.
I'm looking at MLB.com right now. Their potential fits for him are Brewers, the top three: Brewers, Mariners, and Padres.
Padres.
I mean, I guess teams are looking for DHs. I mean, if you look at Fangraphs right now on their roster resources, Manny Machado is their DH, which is not the case. He's going to be a third baseman.
Yeah.
I forget who I saw was their third baseman, but I mean, hey, potentially Reese could. That's the beauty of the DH, though, is that it gives guys like Hoskins who can't play crap in the field. Yeah. The metrics say otherwise. Just saying. But I'm just saying.
He's not that good in the field. It's not that good in the field.
I know. Yeah,
It's not.
I tend to somewhat agree. All right. All right. Before we move on to the outro, where do you think Reese Hoskins goes? Just off gut right now.
I'll
No,
go.
like.
I'm just gonna. I'll say the Marlins.
What about the Mets? What if he went to the Mets?
I don't think he goes to the Mets. I think I'm gonna pick a weird team. Marlins goes to the Marlins. Weird.
It's weird to see him in any other uniform, but like in a Marlins, he would look so ugly.
I'm throwing one out there. It's hoping it sticks.
It's fine. I'm just thinking like in my head, like if you put a Marlins hat,
add another 30 home run guy.
Yeah. I'm not disagreeing because the Marlins need offense.
Yeah.
Like it makes sense.
Cheap.
But the Brewers need offense too. That makes sense.
What if he goes to Tampa Bay?
I'm trying to think who their DH is there. And that's what it will come
What if he could go to Tampa? What if he could go to Tampa? Zach Eflin just went down there. You know what I mean? Reunite with Zach.
Yeah. They can. Yeah.
That could be a possibility.
I mean, it says their DH is Luke Raley. I mean, I don't know. Like, yeah, but their offense was great last year.
I know, but why not? The Rays don't spend a lot. He's probably going to be on a 1-year prove-it deal anyway.
That's true.
Unless someone wants to overspend.
Yeah, I mean, it's baseball, man. Everyone's overspending.
I know.
So
give him more years.
All right.
I don't know.
So, what's your final answer here?
I'm going Marlins. I'm sticking with the Marlins.
I love that answer. I love it. It's so weird. I can't see him.
Outside pick. I'm seeing if it sticks.
All right, let's close out the show.
Boom.
Let's talk about BBWAA Award finalists. We don't have to run through them too much. I mean, I guess just tell me your who do you just give me your predictions for all that we're doing. MVPs, Cy Youngs, Rookie of the Year, Manager of the Year. Yep. Give me your predictions and tell me anybody that you think is going to get robbed. Anything like that, just general predictions, any snubs. What you got for me?
We know who's getting robbed. It's NL Rookie of the Year. We already know who's getting robbed of that.
Don't do it.
Getting robbed.
What Cody is getting robbed?
I'm just kidding.
Right.
I'm just kidding.
Just
kidding. All right. Acuna's gonna win. Ohtani's gonna win. They're gonna be our MVPs. I think I'll go Snell. As Cy Young. I think this is tough. I think Garrett Cole, because I picked him earlier in the year. Garrett Cole wins the other Cy Young in the
Garrett Cole's gonna win.
Yeah, so I go Garrett Cole there. Going down the list, we have to go NL Rookie of the Year. Corbin Carroll's gonna win. No.
Oh, where's that correct?
I know. I want Gunnar to win, so I'm picking Gunnar to win the AL Rookie of the Year. Gunnar Henderson.
He will. Gunnar won.
He should. NL Manager of the Year. I think it should go to Skip. I think the Marlins had overachieved this year. I'm gonna go Skip Schumacher wins Manager of the Year. In the NL and in the American League, Bruce Bochy. Easy.
Yeah, so we're actually I think Ohtani deserves it when he gets it. I think Acuna deserves it when he gets it. I think we debated that a little while back, but I was looking at Acuna's numbers and it's just no argument now. Zero argument. Mookie had an unbelievable year, but Acuna too much. Snell for NL Cy Young, no doubt. Garrett Cole for AL Cy Young, no doubt. I agree with you on NL and AL Rookie of the Years, Carroll and Henderson. And we're in 100. So I don't know. Did you tell me who you thought was going to be NL Manager of the Year?
I want it, and I think it's going to be Skip. Schumacher.
Okay, so I think it's going to be Snicker. I think that's who's going to win it. That's my prediction.
Okay. I'm going Skip.
I'm in agreement with you, though. I think it's Skip. He turned around the Marlins from last year and got them their first winning season, I think, in a while. 84.
Other than the
wins.
COVID, other than the COVID year, right? I think it's other than the COVID.
That doesn't count.
Oh, we're not counting. That doesn't count.
It's different. That was 60 games. It's a different regular season. We'll talk about the
different postseason.
Postseason's the same amount of games, so it doesn't. We fly swap.
Yeah, I'm gonna blow a gasket. You and these COVID championships.
Go Lightning! I need to buy jerseys just to mess with you and everybody else.
Enough is enough.
Anyway, so like I think Snicker will win it because the Braves had such a monster year as far as the regular season goes, because it is a regular season award. Yep. So I think Snicker wins it. Okay. Maybe there's a chance Council wins it just because of recency bias a little bit.
That would be how about that? Maybe that would be awkward. That'd be awkward.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about
that. That would be a little awkward.
That would be hilarious. That should happen. That should happen. They should do that.
Happen. Just for the ratings.
Yeah.
Just for the ratings. That would be awesome. The awkward moment. You were the manager of the Brewers. Now you've left to the arch rival Cubs, and you're accepting the award on behalf of the Brewers as a Brewer. Like, is he going to wear a Cubs uni? Like a Cubs uni?
He should wear a Cubs uniform, accepting it.
Accepting it.
He'd be like, this is what you had. I hope you miss it.
That's great. Say that to that'd be great. That now I think I want him to win just for the chaos.
Yeah, exactly. Chaos
just for the chaos. Oh, I love chaos. It's great.
I ain't gonna lie too. Craig kind of looks like an a-hole. I'm just gonna be real. He looks like he doesn't look like a nice guy. He looks like a guy that thinks he's won a world. Well,
don't judge a book. Don't judge a book behind.
It's sports judgment. I'm not. Look, he might be a nice guy.
Don't judge a book by its cover.
I'm talking about him on the dugout, just standing there like chewing his gum, like, yeah, it's not my fault. We haven't gotten to the World Series. Yeah, it's like Craig kind of gives me those vibes. So, right. But it'll be. I don't even know where I was going with this, but it would be fantastic. Yes, chaos. It would be awesome. I'm all about the chaos. Yes. And then I'm gonna agree with you. I think it will be Bruce Bochy, and I think he deserves it. So I don't think there's any really debates, but that NL Manager of the Year one's going to be a fun one to watch. I think at the end of the day, though, I think it will be Brian Snicker. That's my final prediction.
Okay, all right, we'll disagree there. Skip Schumacher.
Okay, Skip. Yeah, Skip. You're only saying that because you were Drip Bayless for Halloween.
I was. Did you know I was like my nickname growing up?
Yeah, you told me.
Skip was my nickname growing up.
Yeah,
I still get called Skip on occasion.
You were Mr. Broadcaster in high school too.
Yeah, I think my senior year more so, but I got it. I got that nickname. I had that nickname growing up. I still get called that sometimes. Skip.
Do people just call you the Drip?
I wish they should. They should.
You should just go by that. Wear the tie around. You should just wear that tie like just out and about, like with your shirt on.
This one?
You'll look like a male stripper. Girls will come up to you and be like,
"This one."
Yeah.
I can't get it over the headphones.
You look like a male stripper. It's awful.
It's.
I'm uncomfortable now.
The winter meetings, the GM meetings are here.
Yeah, I know. Winter meetings, all right.
They're here. I'm getting business. We're getting business appropriate here.
Yeah, you know what, male stripper, go ahead, take us out because I'm done and you're making me uncomfortable. So
the end of the shift.
I'm done. Go ahead.
Listen, thank you everybody for listening. Francisco's out of here for Francisco Rojas, Nick Earnshaw. This has been the shift. Thanks so much for listening. I'll get him squared away for the next episode. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Have a great rest of your time. I don't even know what am I even saying.